All right, and welcome back to the GAMRs podcast. I'm your host LJ90. With me as always, I have Lawrence.
Hey everybody.
I've got Rident.
Hello.
And I've got Michelle with us. How you doing?
Hi.
I know you missed us last week. There really wasn't too much going on last week that we could talk about, so we decided to postpone it for this week, and I'm kind of glad we did. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. One of the first things we want to talk about, though, if you've checked our Facebook or Tumblr page, you may have seen a brand new, shiny Dynasty Warriors trailer. This goes into a lot of the new reveals that they've been doing over the past couple weeks. Goes in a little more in depth about what the new modes are going to be, and yeah, I was sold the minute they said, "Hey, Dynasty Warriors 8." Now it's just like, all right, so do you want my firstborn or just an arm and a leg? Which
That trailer just had me wowed the whole way through. It's just, just the kind of the showing off of all the new moves and all the integration of all the new characters and everything else is just coming in, and even the new soundtrack that's in there, the new music track that's in there, it's just so good.
Yeah.
I absolutely love what they're going. I absolutely love how the new trailer looks for Dynasty Warriors.
Definitely. And if you want to hear us talk more about it, we're actually going to be on Bish's podcast, the Get a Life podcast, very soon to talk more about Dynasty Warriors 8 and all the new reveals. It's going to be a show purely dedicated to all things Dynasty Warriors. So check out his podcast very soon. The episode will be up. We'll be recording it tomorrow. So yeah, we hope to see you guys there.
Yep, even podcasts can do crossovers.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. Speaking of crossovers, Nintendo did their deluge of new releases for the Wii U for the upcoming year and for E3. Everyone's going crazy over Wind Waker HD Remake, which looks beautiful, but what caught my attention? Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem.
Yeah, they had like a little teaser for it, but the fact that such a thing was even announced as a possibility was just out of left field, especially from Nintendo. Like, you wouldn't think they would cross Fire Emblem with Shin Megami Tensei of all things.
Actually, you know what? After playing Devil Survivor, I can see it.
Yeah?
Because Devil Survivor is essentially Fire Emblem with Shin Megami. It's Fire Emblem in the sense that it's tactical, you move all your people around, but when you actually engage the enemy, it goes to your traditional Shin Megami Tensei combat system.
Okay.
So it's very plausible that these two things can cross over and be completely awesome.
Okay, I could see that. It just seems like a huge timeline, you could say, discrepancy.
See, I don't even think they'll probably try to combine the two universes. It'll just be, it'll be set in Fire Emblem's timeline with Shin Megami Tensei rules. So instead of going up against other humans, you have maybe demons or Persona on your side. Frankly, I don't know. I don't care. I just want to know when they want my money and how they.
I'd be more interested in if it comes out on like a 3DS version, which I think it might. Since Shin Megami Tensei is 3DS, you could say centric title, and Fire Emblem has always been on the handhelds for the longest time for Nintendo.
Right. Well,
so
isn't the newest Fire Emblem coming out on? Is it 3DS or Wii U?
I think it's 3DS.
Okay.
Yeah, Fire Emblem Awakening. Yeah,
right.
It's 3DS.
Because I had a lot of people talking earlier in the week.
Yeah.
I think the other games that were the other ones that were announced were, was it new Smash Brothers?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
A new 3D Mario one.
Yep. That's also going to be shown at E3.
Mario Kart.
Also going to be shown, and I believe playable at E3.
which is obviously going to take the attention of all Nintendo fanboys and girls, because especially those the old school ones that always loved a bit of Mario from the very start. What else was there? Oh, there was that the one that's like a Xenoblade Chronicles possible sequel.
Yeah, possible.
Yeah, they didn't. I don't think they actually hinted as to what exactly it was, but it was done by the team, and looked very much like that series.
Mm-hmm. And then there was, if I'm not mistaken, the Yoshi game announcement made by the team that did Kirby's Epic Yarn, and even in the same style of Kirby's Epic Yarn. So it's that kind of stringy. Everything is actually yarn. So
he kind of reminds me of Sackboy.
Yeah,
it's like Yoshi Sackboy.
Yeah, like an outline just Sackboy with the fabric and everything.
Well, that's what everyone said when Kirby Epic Yarn came out. They're like, "Oh, okay, you guys are trying to get your Sackboy on, ha ha ha."
So that's another announcement coming from Nintendo. And then we also have the one announcement that came out, what was it, last week or 2 weeks ago now? In regards to the Pokemon series with Pokemon X and Y.
Oh yeah. The first 3D Pokemon game, wasn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yep. Yeah, with cell shaded graphics and everything. And it looks good. It looks good.
I gotta say, for a company that claims to be so like family centric, they market everything towards the families. If you really want to strain the relationship between you and your friends, pop in a Nintendo game like Mario Brothers for the Wii. There is no better way to lose 3 friends than all just play Mario Brothers Wii. There's no other way. The one Starman comes out and you're just throwing people down cliffs to get it. It's like, why'd you kill me? Well, there was a Starman on the field, so I weighed my options. I figured I'd make better use of it than you would.
or the best possible method: play Smash Brothers.
I see your Smash Brothers and I raise you Mario Kart.
Oh.
What about Mario Party as well?
Oh yeah, freaking.
Actually, wasn't there a Mario Party announcement? Wii U. Oh, was it Wii U Party or something?
I think it was a Wii U Party. Yeah, not a Mario Party per se, but like Wii U getting an expansion to its interface to include more party-centric games for multiple people to play.
See, Mario Party does seem like it would be built it seems like a game that's perfect for the Wii U. But I gotta say, hey, it's Mario, it's like Monopoly, it's friendly. No, it is warfare. It is warfare with a smiley Nintendo face.
Yes.
It's like Monopoly, but everyone's the cannon.
Yeah.
It's like Monopoly, but everyone already has Boardwalk.
You can actually duel someone to take their boardwalk from them.
Yes. You want Boardwalk? Want to fight about it?
See, that's complete over here. That's completely over our heads because we don't have those tiles on our Monopoly boards.
That kind of makes sense.
Our Monopoly board is based around London. See, the one that everyone goes for is Mayfair.
Okay. So Boardwalk would be, I guess, your Mayfair then.
That's the highest priced one.
$500, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Boardwalk would be your Mayfair.
Yeah.
And I'm going to duel you for it. On guard.
And then also, not as a Nintendo announcement, but something to go along with Nintendo's current deluge of releases and announcements. You guys remember the game Project Cross Zone from last year, right? From Japan?
Project Cross Zone. Refresh my memory.
It is the tri-branded crossover between Sega, Namco, and Capcom.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
That is coming out in the US and Europe summer of this year.
Oh?
Yep, that's been official. They are going to bring it over to the US and Europe this summer. No English voiceovers, because you have to revoice every single character, and there's however many 100 characters through each of those 3 franchises.
Right.
But it's coming over to North America and the UK in the summer.
So right, we don't need any English voices in Japanese games anymore.
Well, I think what they're
But we
probably-
won't go there.
I think what they're figuring out after Tecmo Koei's little experiment with Warriors Orochi and now with Dynasty Warriors Empire 7, we're gonna buy it anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's Project Cross Zone. I mean, the fact that you have a 3-company crossover is amazing on its own,
Oh yeah.
and that you made it a fully functional, workable RPG speaks volumes for the game's quality.
Yeah.
To me, that the way they went about it. So, yeah, we're gonna buy it anyway. So,
Which kind of sucks because our voice actor brethren on this side kind of get screwed over.
yeah.
But we
know.
as consumers are like, damned if we do, damned if we don't. If we say, hey, we want English voices, they say, oh, you want English voices? Well, it's too expensive, and yeah, we're not gonna make the money back, so you're not gonna get it at all.
Right. And especially when you had Harada-san from Tekken's, and he was the one pumping this to Namco again and again to try to get it brought over to North America. So all of a sudden it's going to be like, well, you guys didn't buy it, so why should I bother?
Exactly.
And Harada is just the type of person to go, you guys didn't buy it, why should I bother?
Exactly. He will look you in the eye. He will look you in the windows of your soul and tell you, I tried. You let me down. Kick rocks.
Basically. But yeah, this year looks like it could be a big year for Nintendo if they play their cards right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, after disappointing last year, they can only get better. So.
Well, see, sometimes you have to have disappointment. They laid the foundation to make this possible.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's what you got to do. Speaking of, I know I kind of glossed over it, but Legend of Zelda Wind Waker Reborn, it looks beautiful.
Oh yeah. I can't say enough about how that thing looks in HD. I mean, it was stunning in standard definition because it's a game that still holds up today, in my opinion, in terms of the graphical look. Because that's the one thing with cell shading. Cell shading just does not age.
Like with Okami.
Yes.
Right. Okami still looked great, and now that you HDify it, it looks better.
Yeah.
With Wind Waker, it still looked fantastic, for a 2003 GameCube game. Now that we're on 10 years of Wind Waker, now that I realize that, they HDified it, and it looks so much nicer. It looks the colors pop out more, everything looks so vibrant with the Wind Waker HD version. I can't talk enough about that, how that looks. It looks amazing, the Wind Waker HD.
Well, yeah, from what we were talking about earlier, they completely redid how it looks. They didn't just touch up the graphics. No, they did a complete redesigning of it.
Yeah, which probably should be the new standard in terms of how they take HD collections, and if they can do it, to just redo or try to redo everything from the source code and see if they can go from there. The only problem is that makes an HD collection kind of take the same length of time as a full-on game to develop.
Right.
So it becomes, is it worth it in the end to take 2 years to HDify an old game? So.
Well, talking of new games, you have some nice words to say about Capcom.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna get into this whole thing. First off, with the sales of DMC, I heard from you guys that in the UK it's still selling pretty well. The new DMC.
Yes, and it was actually the #1 game. It was the first game that's hit #1 for on the week of release for a while.
Right.
I don't even think Far Cry made it to #1 on its first week.
Yeah, over here Far Cry has just been #1 for a while now.
See, for us it's always been FIFA,
right?
And they took FIFA's podium.
Yeah, which is saying something considering FIFA's popularity, especially in the UK, because obviously that's more I don't want to say that's more of a regional game, but
Yeah.
yeah, it sells more obviously in Europe.
I say
Yeah.
we don't have an appreciation for the sweet science that our brethren across the pond do, which is a shame. Which is really a shame. But
Yeah, I've noticed that, but it's growing. The fan base is growing, as long as Dempsey keeps doing his thing. But I digress. But with DMC, it's selling well in the UK. I popped up sales figures from Japan, and it's the number one seller there too. It's 100,000 units sold in its first, I believe, week or two now. But if I look at Amazon in America, it's a little bit more startling, the difference. To give you an idea, if I could pop it up now, I believe DMC is rated on the PS3 is rated number 192 on Amazon's sales list, right? To put this in perspective, Far Cry on the 360 and PS3 are numbers 1 and 2. Ni no Kuni is number 3. So, congrats on that one for Ni no Kuni and Level 5 Studios. And the DMC HD collection that came out in April 2012 is number 75 on the list. The DMC HD collection got a boost of sales almost out of protest for this new DMC. And as a result, in America, the new DMC sales, if we go by Amazon as just the general average, is just suffering as a result of it. Because people are buying the old DMC over the new DMC.
I mean, Sean Carter said it best. Y'all want my old stuff? Buy my old album. I guess they decided to buy the old. But it's a shame because as great as the old Devil May Cry series is, it's time for new things. It's time for innovation. It's time for another side, if you will.
But the way I'd say it is, if they didn't release this, either it'll be classified as a dead IP, or you'll get another DMC4.
Yeah. To me, it's a matter of risk versus reward. If they could make a new DMC, as in the original DMC 1 through 4, they can make a DMC 5, and it could be great. It could be up there with DMC 3. It could have the story to go along with it. Like maybe it'll explain Nero's story. Maybe it'll go into Sparta's history. Maybe it'll go into what happened to Virgil after DMC 1 and Mundus's defeat. Different things like that. Maybe it'll go into different storylines that people are interested in seeing. But the problem is it can also be another DMC 2 where the story isn't entirely relevant to what's going on, and Capcom has pretty much disavowed DMC 2's existence in regards to the canon.
There was a DMC 2?
Basically, yes. So that's
I thought they just couldn't count.
DMC 1, DMC 3, and 4?
Hold on, is 2 even on the HD re-release collection?
It is, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
They released 1, 2, and 3, and they used the special edition for 3. But that's the risk versus reward that people run with this. You can get a DMC game that is great out of this as a DMC 5, but you also run the risk of getting a DMC 2, or in some people's cases, a DMC 4, which DMC 4 in and of itself was not that well received in certain circles. But then you also have how the new DMC is trying to change these series and try to innovate a little bit. But they just took so many missteps between the promotion of DMC and the way they wrote the story, trying to promote the story as this, we're trying to make it so that video games can be held to the same standard as different media and movies and this and that. And the game story itself, there's no sugarcoating it. It sucks. The DMC story, the new one, just sucks. And then you have the ending, which... semi-spoiler alert, in case you haven't heard the outrage of this one. The ending is open-ended to the point where the pre-order DLC, Virgil's Downfall, is the ending.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I've heard talks of that.
Okay.
But I think most people that I've spoken to that played have got that DLC, so it hasn't, bothered them as much. But I guess if you didn't pre-order and you didn't get that DLC, then you'd probably be a bit pissed.
Yeah, a mini spoiler alert for those who aren't aware. I'm about to go into a little bit of the details of the ending of the new DMC Devil May Cry reboot, so this is just a little advanced spoiler warning. But the way the ending is Dante fights Virgil, surprise, and
I'm shocked.
I know this is groundbreaking for the
I haven't
series.
played Devil May Cry since freshman year in college, and I could have called that one. Come on now.
Yeah, but Dante fights Virgil at the ending, and Dante kind of lets Virgil go afterwards because Cat begs him off of Virgil because he could have killed Virgil with the Stinger, and which he almost does in Devil Trigger. And after that, Virgil, I'm just glancing over the dialogue, so I'm not giving away too much. But Virgil then goes into a portal after he gets away, and then jumps through it. Which, when the game ends with a close-up on Dante's red eyes, because he's in Devil Trigger form. Now, Virgil going through the portal, and Dante being the focus at the end of it, and then the game just ends. And then you have it confirmed on Capcom Unity that Virgil's downfall will be a continuation of DMC. You are selling the ending as a pre-order bonus.
But
I don't understand anyone's justification for that one. If I've heard people say that you're not selling the ending, it's more of an epilogue. No, the game ends with Virgil going through a portal and Dante looking down that portal with the camera close up on his eyes. The game ends with that. You're selling the ending. Because what happens to Virgil afterwards is the end of DMC. It's not an epilogue. An epilogue is the game is over, the story is settled, what happened afterwards. The story isn't settled here. And so, Capcom, between their promotion of this, the way the story is written, they're selling the ending as DLC again, Masoda's Wrath, and then they just don't learn from what screwed them in the past. I mean, recently, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen got officially announced on a release date. The release date is in, I believe, April 23rd, I believe, for Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. But the problem is, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen is being sold in a manner similar to, I don't know, Super Street Fighter 4. You're getting the original game plus the Dark Arisen content all in one package, and there is no way around it. So if you bought the original Dragon's Dogma, you got screwed, because it's only $40 to get it now with the Dark Arisen content. Capcom just hasn't learned from their mistakes in the past. As much as they say, that, we're going to learn from DLC that's on the disc, we're going to learn from this, we're going to learn from that. They just have shown again and again that they haven't learned. They haven't learned from the debacle of selling their ending as DLC. They haven't learned from the on-disc DLC issues as of yet. I'll believe it when I see the next game not have on-disc DLC from them. And you can't help but realize that Capcom is just shooting themselves in the foot repeatedly. Even if I'm okay with on-disc DLC to an extent, like with fighting games, it cuts down on compatibility issues and everything. Even if I'm okay with it, there is at least a 60% outspoken fan base that will go, no, we don't want on-disc DLC, period. But they just aren't learning, and that's the problem with Capcom nowadays. They don't get it. They are that out of touch with the gaming fan base that they don't see their mistakes. That's pretty much what I wanted to go off about with Capcom. It just makes me shake my head when I look at Dragon's Dogma, when I look at DMC, because people are even saying with Dragon's Dogma they're not going to buy it now because it's coming with the original content. What people spent $60 for in a package that's now $40 just to get the new content. You're buying the game twice. Now, granted, they throw in the bonuses, if you have Dragon's Dogma save data, like I think it's 100,000 Rift Crystals, a new armor set, and unlimited Fairy Stones, which is helpful. But that's not a main thing for everybody. That's not a selling point for people who already have the original Dragon's Dogma. So you are selling them a super edition of your year-old game. Where have we heard this before?
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Every Capcom release in the past 2 years. Thereabouts, anyway. Street Fighter 4's done it, MVC's done it, Resident Evil 5's done it. It's a pattern.
But I would say it's a working pattern to the extent that people still buy it.
Oh yeah, people still buy it. But the more and more you do it, the more and more people get outraged.
Oh yeah, I'm saying they can probably get away with doing this a couple more times, but
I don't think so.
if you just go by that from a pure business perspective, just look at their numbers, they're going like, hey, we can sell the exact same game twice.
Yeah, that's the way you said it is just like, really? But that's almost how they view it. I mean, with Street Fighter, it was to be expected. That's a common pattern with Street Fighter, even as far back as the original Street Fighter 2. They released that game 5-6 different times now. MVC3, they were more versus Capcom. They never did that sort of thing. So Ultimate MVC3 kind of took people by surprise. Resident Evil, they hadn't done that thing before. So Resident Evil 5 Gold took people by surprise. Now they're doing it with Dragon's Dogma, their new AAA title. And it gets people looking at Capcom with the extent of, I'm not going to buy your games at launch. I'm just going to wait for a collector's edition or this super edition that you're going to release later. The last thing you needed was to justify that. And you just did.
You know what? Just give it a couple of months and then there'll be Ultimate DMC.
Oh.
Don't give them ideas, Michelle.
I'm expecting it now. I mean, even though Capcom's just a publisher, I'm expecting them to just go, you know what? DMC with Virgil's Downfall DLC put together on the disc.
But this is no different to what a lot of other companies do with their Game of the Year editions and their Ultimate Packs and everything else when they release them.
To an extent, but the thing
say like now everyone's buying the Borderlands DLC,
mm-hmm.
and then they'll release the Ultimate Edition or Game of the Year edition. It'll have all the DLC on there.
Right, but my only counter to that would be with Capcom, there's no other way to get the new content other than rebuying the game. Dark Arisen is not coming out as a DLC standalone expansion.
Yeah.
You need to get the Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen disc or downloadable expansion version, which is Dragon's Dogma 1 plus the Dark Arisen expansion. Super Street Fighter 4, there is no DLC for it. You had to get Super Street Fighter 4 to get the 10 new characters. That sort of thing. There's no alternate way around it. With the case of the Game of the Year editions, the people who got it early, they could get the DLC early. They could get the game and the DLC and have been playing it for months already by the time it comes out. The way Capcom does it, there's no other way around getting the bonus content. I think the only example otherwise would be Resident Evil 5 Gold. And even then, I think Resident Evil 5 Gold has added content to it.
That's the one that had the Wii U, the PS Move motion stuff added to it and a few other bits.
Yeah, and I think the Mercenaries Reborn expansion was Gold exclusive. And then I think, not to mention with Resident Evil 5, the game was barely a year old, and you did Resident Evil 5 Gold, and you turned this $100 game down to $40. That rubbed people the wrong way very much, because the game, I think, was barely, like I said, a year old, and they did that. So that's the reason why Capcom, I think, catches a lot more flack about it than other companies. I mean, Game of the Year editions are rampant, like you mentioned, but you can get the content early and without having to get the Game of the Year edition. In Capcom's case, you need to buy the same game twice to get the second copy with the new content, or you just wait it out for the complete edition. And unfortunately, they justify the idea of just waiting out every single one of Capcom's releases for a special edition, with Dragon's Dogma getting this treatment. But yeah, Capcom's not learning, and I personally, they really should be learning faster than this.
I mean, we'll see. I would argue they can probably get away with this for another cycle. Only because there's a track record of showing people continuing to buy this stuff. Yeah, people complain about it, but for every person that complains, you probably get maybe 2 that still buy it again. Because
Right.
they're not targeting people that have already bought the game. They're trying to get people that haven't got the game yet. Maybe they passed on it because it came out the same week as Call of Duty or whatever. And they're saying, hey, this game you wanted when Call of Duty came out, it's out again with more stuff. Everyone else that bought the game, sucks to be you.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's an expansion of the original, in Dogma's case at least. It's an expansion of the original game, so it's like they are trying to target people who got the original game and are like, hey, this new expansion gives you new level 3 skills, new equipment, a new area to explore, all this new stuff, but you need to rebuy Dragon's Dogma, itself to get this new content.
Oh yeah, no, that one's probably not going to go over too well.
It already hasn't. I've already seen a lot of people looking at that and going, yeah, no, I'm not buying it. But for the people who just waited, like you mentioned, people who didn't get it originally, this type of thing pulls them in. Because then they go, oh, I didn't buy it originally when it was $60. Now I can get the original game plus all this new content for $40. I'm good with that.
Right.
Oh, Capcom. I don't understand them sometimes.
Well,
25th anniversary of Mega Man, release a fan-made game.
that still blows my mind. I just happened to be browsing the PlayStation Network and I saw, hey, Mega Man 9 and 10 released. I was like, oh, cool. If only we could get new Mega Man stuff.
No, because the best that they did was the Mega Man X Street Fighter thing, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and that was a fan-made project. I mean, 4 people made the game, and the credits have to include all the Capcom staff because they put their names on it. I felt that hilarious. It was a 4-man crew who made this game, Capcom. They didn't use you.
They just
You're
used
promotion.
your likeness and image.
Yeah.
It's Mogger Man. Okay, that kind of sounds a bit racist, actually.
Oh. Edit.
It was no way.
Edit. We here at We Are Gamers are a professional podcasting group.
I thought it was hilarious. Hold on. Oh man, I think what depresses me most about Capcom is one of their best sleeper hits that if they just found a way to re-release would instantly be top 10 on whatever they re-released it on. Mega Man Legends.
Well, apparently that one didn't sell. The original 2 Legends didn't sell too well. So I don't mind that I actually don't mind so much that they canceled Legends 3. What I don't like is them blaming the fan base for canceling Legends 3.
Oh no! If all the hype was to equate to sales, Legends 3 would have killed if it came out.
Yeah, but that's also, like you said, if.
Right.
And Capcom wasn't promoting Legends 3 properly, to be honest.
Well, what do they promote properly?
Sure. Marvel vs. Capcom, Resident Evil.
Oh, so the 3 things that make them the most money.
Yes, basically. Devil May Cry.
Wait. Remember when gaming was fun and it wasn't all about the money? Remember those days?
That was back with my PS1 and PS2 and N64 and GameCube and Xbox.
Then people started realizing, holy crap, I can make a lot of money doing this. Ah, well, I digress. Moving from Lawrence's rage face to Michelle's sad face. Hold on, I have to hear this. What's going on with Squeenix now?
Just there was an interview recently where it's like basically Katazi said basically he knew that a lot of fans were sort of disappointed with the DLC for Final Fantasy 13-2. Yeah, that's a bit of an understatement. And it's just like, I just know they're going to do the same for Lightning Returns, and I'm just like, no! Just no! It's just, the DLC for 13-2 was, the story, it was like, there had like the story DLC where it's like you could buy like the stories for like, I think it was like Saz, Snow and Lightning, and it's like, it's supposed to be in the main game. It's like Capcom all over again.
Hold on. So they cut out a part of the main game and then sold it to you as DLC.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, that's bold.
And for some reason, fans were disappointed.
I can't fathom why.
That is Mass Effect 3 DLC levels of bold right there.
Hey, at least with Mass Effect 3, it was just the character data, which they always did.
It gets even worse because it's like there have the things where it's like
hello?
Hello?
Yeah, we're here now. Whatever you said was really laggy.
You said something?
No, it was just like everything went silent for a second there. That's all I was like, wait, what?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But anyways, that is bold.
Well, like you said, Michelle, it's an understatement that people weren't happy with the Final Fantasy 13-2 DLC. People were already disappointed with the game itself ending on a to be continued screen, and you expected them to buy the DLC for a game that is, for all intents and purposes, a cash cow being milked to death of content that you cut from the final game.
Hold on, they didn't sell you the ending, did they?
Did they sell like an epilogue, Michelle? Lightning story?
A Lightning story was sort of set during, I think. But yeah. And then it gets even better because they said, like, when 13-2 first came out, they were like, oh, it ends with to be continued, but we're not working on a third one, we swear. Okay.
Yeah, I remember that. I do remember that. They were saying that we had no plans on the 13-3, but 13-2 ended on a to be continued screen. So it's either you're going to sell us DLC as the ending, or you're working on a 13-3. I think Square kind of weighed their options and went, which one will piss people off less? Maybe 13-3. Maybe. They might at this point just take the DLC to be done with this series. But maybe a third game.
Well, where did Final Fantasy go wrong?
Final Fantasy 12.
Hold on.
I'd say 12 is where they started to steer the ship in that different direction, yeah.
Final Fantasy 12 Revenant Wings is not terrible at all.
No.
Because that's a very different game. But the actual Final Fantasy 12... I enjoyed Final Fantasy 12, but it just didn't feel like Final Fantasy.
Yeah, FF12 was too.
In the kind of, especially the battle sense.
I played the demo that I was turned off, right? I the demo came with Dragon Quest VIII. I played that and I was like, no, playing it. Oh, Square Enix.
Meanwhile, Kingdom Hearts 3 is still in development hell.
Michelle, over under odds. Which one comes first, Kingdom Hearts 3 or Final Fantasy Versus 13?
Either the world will end before we see Miracle. And then not only that, right? But you know, the HD version of Final Fantasy X was announced 2 years ago, and it's like there hasn't been a screenshot or a trailer or anything. It's like only Square Enix could take 2 years to do a HD remake.
Meanwhile, Kingdom Hearts HD Collection.
Exactly.
Ah! It just Square. I want to buy these games, but you're not giving them to me.
So I know when next time I meet Michelle at one of these expos, the only thing I have to say to make her angry or sad face is Square Enix.
Oh, I think the sad face has evolved to rage face.
Congratulations, your sad face has evolved into rage face. You have learned Leer.
I've learned rage.
You've learned outrage, the dragon move.
So long as I don't meet her when she's dressed in her Basra cosplays, because she'll probably start whacking me with the swords or something.
Yeah, you better watch out. I'm going as Yukimura again in May, so you better watch out.
Do it. Supply footage.
Actually, it'll even be better because at the moment plans are to go as Mitsunari as well, so there'll be rage.
All the rage.
Oh boy. Just walk around in the, what state is it called again? Reverence?
Yeah.
Yeah, just walk around in that all day when someone mentions Square.
All right. Who here has actually played Sengoku Basara 3 Samurai Heroes?
I think everyone apart from Rident.
Yeah.
Okay. You may not get this reference. The last, I guess the last stage for everyone that isn't part of Sekigahara, the intervention.
Mm-hmm.
Mitsunari reverence on that stage. You can literally go through the whole stage in one endless combo.
Yeah.
It's so not fair.
Yeah, Mitsunari is wrong on so many levels. He's weak in attack, but his attacks are so fast, and that reverence state of his, he is wrong on so many levels, depending on how you outfit him.
Like you said, he's weak, but he's so quick it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Do you know what's really fun? If you put the seals on him to use infinite reverence, then go fight Masamune when you have to do the horse race. That is fun.
Oh yeah. It's like he's on a horse, and you're like, I can just outrun the freaking horse.
And that's the thing. He said, like, watch me with my motorbike court. Why are you on foot? Oh no.
Wait, why do you have a purple aura and red eyes? Oh my god.
Red eyes take warning. Red eyes take warning. So.
Oh boy.
I have to figure out how I'm going to make Mitsunari in Empires. I already have this list written down on my tablet of like just people I'm going to remake. And I can just give him the curved sword, yeah, but I gotta find a way to duplicate that speed. There's gotta be some way.
I don't know. I mean, I think Empire's always had like an attack speed up sort of thing that you get eventually.
Yeah, that's eventually though.
Yeah. Nothing for right off the bat though. By the way, another sin of Capcom's not releasing Sengoku Basara 3 Utage to the US.
Oh,
after Samurai 3 Heroes did, what was it, top 10 the week it came out?
It did?
Hold on, let me bring up VG charts, because I remember it did way...
No, hold up, Justin. Do not go by VG charts.
What should I go by then?
I don't know, but VG charts often gets laughed out of a room. So,
Aha!
because VG charts is often, I think, exaggerated sales and stuff like that.
Oh, I can just go to the. I don't know where else I can go to bring up the sales, but because I remember it did way better than I thought it would do.
It apparently sold 600,000 units, which for a game that had no promotion isn't bad, but it didn't sell well enough, even though the game had no promotion, but it was expected to sell, Street Fighter numbers somehow to get an expansion released.
Well, I remember the only way I found out about it was I randomly went on the PlayStation blog and I saw the ad for it. I was like, oh, okay, let's just check this out. And I was like, where has this been all my life?
I found out about it through, I think it was a GamePro ad or Shonen Jump ad, one of the two, on their magazine. And I saw it, I was like, this looks interesting. And then a few weeks later, I see the demo on PlayStation Network. I give it a random try, and I'm like, this is Samurai Warriors meets anime.
No,
I love it.
I would say no, it's Dynasty Warriors with Devil May Cry. I need this now.
But Masamune had Dante's Stinger, so yeah.
Isn't that one of his actual weapons, actually?
I think in Sengoku Basara 2, it may have been Alistair as one of his weapons.
Because they just happen to be. I know in English they're voiced by the same person.
Mm-hmm, they are.
So it's the same in Japan. They just happen to be voiced by. That's what it is. 500,000 units in Japan. And the series as a whole did 2.1 million.
Okay, I see.
That's going by one of Capcom's press releases when they did this is our profit line for this year. They did that like line item for each game sold.
Okay.
It's amazing what a little Google magic can do.
Huzzah for Google. I think this topic made Michelle go into another sad face.
Why?
I'm sorry, Michelle.
My brother imported Utage. It's pretty fun.
Oh god, Atagi is so much fun.
Yeah, you two enjoy Utage, okay? I'm just gonna sit in my corner.
But you say that everyone I know that's ordered that, it takes them forever to get it.
I'm just gonna sit in my corner, my Utage-less corner right now, and just admire. I'm just gonna sit here and just start admiring.
Well, to drag you out of your corner and to kind of switch gears before we get into to Rident's retro moment, we really got to iron out what exactly we're doing for the next TK Day. I know I have an idea and I've shared the rough idea with you guys.
Well, I think I know we're going to try and focus on the new releases,
right?
And hopefully we get some backing from the Tecmo Co with a little, just a little bit of promotion or whatever.
Hint, nudge.
Yeah, Tecmo Co. But no, hopefully we get quite a few players on board and stuff. And then there's the things you were saying with regards to the new features on Empires with the Creator Warrior stuff, and but then we'll also have Ken's Rage 2, which comes out, which also the guys on Xbox can join in with, because that is coming out on Xbox as opposed to Empires isn't. I get so I guess it'll be close enough to the end of when just after Empires releases sometime.
Right, I was thinking like that first weekend in March.
That sounds good.
So
go for
you
that,
guys will have to watch out on all of our various sites, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, to get more details about that. Like I just slid that little tease in there. You like that?
Yes, this is relevant to our interests.
Yeah, it is. That's actually like it's kind of funny. That's actually how all of us kind of got together. We just what was it? I just randomly started DMing you guys like, hey, we should do something like this. We should do a TK day, and then Chin was like, hey, you guys are doing this. Here's support. I'm like, oh crap, I didn't expect this.
And the first one was fun. The second one was bigger, and the last one was even bigger than that. I mean, because we got donated a load of prizes, and we hosted the Dead or Alive 5 tournaments, although they didn't quite go to plan because they were kind of pre-patch stuff. So we had all those issues. And
our last TK Day was so big, we made Tecmo Koei patch Dead or Alive.
That would be funny if it were the case, because it was like all these tournaments had these issues. Why is the online lagging? Next day, here's a patch.
See, no, I'm just saying. We reported issues with the tournament, even though the tournaments went fine. They're like, we still had all these issues. Patch comes out, what was it, the day of or a day after?
Day after.
Yeah,
the day after.
I'm just saying.
And now they have this huge patch for DOA 5 that came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that. They gave us a lot of gameplay tweaks, and Zach's Island, so I have to go check that out.
Yeah.
The patch notes were absolutely huge. There were two different patch notes because all the characters have been given adjustments or new moves.
Right. I saw the I'm a nerd because that's what I do for my job. So I'm like, oh, patch notes. Let me read these. I was like, yeah, TLDR. I'm not reading all this crap.
I read through it and I was like, whoa, wait, you serious?
Yeah, there's just so much, and because I mean, even like the moves page was big enough, and then you had all the the tweaks and additional features page, which things like the automatic posting to YouTube's and YouTube videos and things like that. That was just some really nice additional features that they're throwing in at no cost.
It is nice to see. It's Team Ninja and Tecmo Koei. It's nice to see them still caring for this and not just moving on to the next project. I enjoy when people actually take their IPs seriously.
Yeah, I mean, especially where they've got the other Team Ninja projects which are in the works, and they're still having that focus. It's great.
I have to say though, the ending of Dead or Alive 5, I think I got it. Listen, like I think I have a general idea of what's going on, but what?
The story kind of flows on from 4. I think Dimensions actually told a story of 1 to 4.
Okay.
Yeah, Dimensions retold every story.
Yeah, so basically, actually, as opposed to because 1 to 4 were basically all just a complete mishmash, just a few, like the usual fight games where you have a cutscene for every character which have no relevance to a whole story or anything like that. But I think Dimensions actually patched that together and actually gave a story, and then this was a continuation to that story.
Yep.
So some things will make a lot more sense if you've actually played the previous games.
Okay.
Especially Dead or Alive 4. Because that's the one that has the very end cutscene, which flows into what's happening in this one.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Or you can just hit YouTube and watch them all.
Yeah, and just go from there. One thing I want to say about the DOA 5 patch, dude, how much more strength do they need to give Akira? He got no buffs, no nerfs whatsoever. He got nothing but buffs, and I'm scared of him now. He can, if you do a combo right, he can take off half your health in one combo.
Well,
because now, I don't think they nerfed anyone. I think they buffed up certain characters, but obviously some more than others. But I don't really think they took much away from anyone.
Mila lost a little things here and there, like some of her moves start up slower, but in exchange for that, she gained buffs and damage to her grapple and to her mount and side position throws. So, like, if you get in full amount and you do the punches, instead of it being a 45, it's a 50 in damage. If you do the side knees, instead of it being like a 30, it's a 35 in general.
Yeah.
And she gained buffs to that. She gained little nerfs, small nerfs to her regular stand-up, but everything else got buffed in terms of her grapples.
Yeah, so I think overall, the characters weren't really nerfed as a whole.
Yeah, they didn't get bludgeoned with a nerf bat like certain, like I've seen in other fighting games in the past. Where all of a sudden a character goes from top tier to bottom if they're not careful.
Hey, you know what balance is? This guy gets used all the time. Let's make him useless.
Yeah,
Game balanced.
Or my favorite. Hey, you want to do a practice of balance? Let's take the low tier character and make them even worse. I've seen that happen twice in other games.
But you know when you've got a good player when they can always win with the lowest tier characters.
You know why I don't play Street Fighter? You want to know the real reason why I don't play Street Fighter as often as other people?
Mm-hmm.
Because one of my old roommates used to beat the ever-loving crap out of me with Dan.
Oh.
I would have my kid in Akuma, and I'd get wrecked with Dan. That does something to you, man. That's like just demoralizing on so many levels.
Do you still have trouble sleeping?
I see the pink gi in my sleep, man. I just
you haven't seen demoralizing until you play MVC2, or at least you see a match of MVC2, and a guy tries to run team top tier like Sentinel, Storm, Magneto, and he gets thrashed. No joke, I've seen this by Mega Man, Roll, and Surfbot.
Oh, that is awesome.
I've seen that happen one time in a room with a bunch of my PSN friends, and we were watching it and we were dying laughing. We saw that fight and we just lost it. That guy immediately rage quit the room when that happened.
You gotta rage quit after that. Like there's no other option. You just gotta take the L and leave at that point.
Yeah. But on the DOA 5 patch though, the fact that I know Akira is more in line with his VF self now, but my god, one combo is half your health with him now, because now he can do his Hokeki Unshin Sokusho, or that Stun Palm of Doom, out of a critical burst. So if a guy is critical burst stunned, you can now do Hokeki Unshin Sokusho out of it, and it'll connect.
All right, that's lethal. That's
half health.
I mean,
no joke, that is half health.
You still have half health left though.
All he needs to do is land that combo once more and it's over.
Oh man.
But yeah, Akira's strong in DOA 5 now.
I think I'm going to play some DOA 5 this weekend actually.
Nice.
You're lucky enough if you're on a PS3, you're lucky enough you get the patch. If you're on the Xbox, you got to wait till February because the patch actually had an issue with it.
Right, the patch,
a staggering issue.
The patch somehow breaks the game.
Yeah, what issue is that?
It's a stagger issue. Although guys at there was someone that posted, and apparently guys at Free Step Dodge actually wanted that to happen. But it's something that Team Ninja didn't want to happen,
right.
And so they're actually going to patch it, and they're actually going to fix the patch when they release in February. But the Xbox players have to wait till February for when the PS3 gets their fix and the patch gets fixed.
Right. And see, game developers, companies, take note. If you communicate with your community, they're not going to be pissed off at you.
Yeah.
If a patch has an issue, just tell them, yo, this is the issue. This is why you're not getting it. This is when you will get it.
Or if companies realize DLC wasn't impressive, right, Michelle?
I think she's still...
Michelle's in full-on grumpy mode right now.
Good old Square Enix.
Rage Face has evolved into Grump.
I call it Square Enix Face.
Squeenix Face.
Squeenix Face.
Hold on.
Although talking Squeenix, I was lucky enough to go to Square Enix in London and got to try out the Tomb Raider game, and this is something that Square Enix is actually doing good, although it's one of the Western games. I got to try out the Tomb Raider multiplayer, and surprisingly very good.
Really?
Is it now?
Yes. Now I was in the camp as soon as they announced that there was going to be a multiplayer. I banged my head on the table. I was like, I don't need that.
So did everybody. I think the world over did that.
Come to terms with it. They've got a completely different team. They've got Eidos Montreal doing the multiplayer side, and they've got the Crystal Dynamics team doing the single player. So it's done by two completely separate teams. And Eidos Montreal's done a very good job with the multiplayer. What we had was it was kind of limited to we had 2 game modes, and we had 1 map that we were allowed to play. You tend to play, it's all kind of team-based games. So you have survivors versus scavengers. We played a team deathmatch style game. Obviously, whoever gets the most kills or the kill target wins. Then there's also, I think it was called survival mode or something. Where basically, if you're the survivors, you've got to pick up medipacks. It's kind of like a capture the flag thing. You've got to pick up medipacks, and you've got to take them to a point on the map to score a point. If you are a scavenger, you have to get as many kills as you can. But when you shoot them down, they don't. The survivors don't actually die. They They tend to rest on the ground. They can open fire, and you got to either melee them or wait for their death timer to knock them flat.
Sounds like some of the stuff they added in Uncharted a little.
Yes, it kind of plays like that.
Yeah.
And but one thing that I found was really, really cool was there's all kinds of things like little traps and stuff that you can activate and set up on the map. So there I was. I spent a lot of time going through the little cave system on this map and setting up all these like rabbit nooses. So as soon as someone walked over, they got their leg caught and were hanging upside down, and they had to shoot the noose to get themselves off. And you can do that. And you can set grenades down there and all sorts. So as soon as they go up, a grenade will go off, and there's nothing they can do because they're hanging upside down. There's also, I think we eventually found a spike trap, which was pretty cool. Set the trap, and as soon as someone walks into the spikes, it shuts on them. Then there was a few things which we didn't have on the map that we were playing, but we saw a video, and it was like I think there was lightning rods and other things that can kind of take out your enemies if you set them up. And then it kind of works a bit like with other multiplayer games with perk system and upgrades and things like that. You can buy characters with what's called the salvage that you pick up. It's like the currency that you use, so you get salvage for kills, you get salvage from crates on the map and things like that. But yeah, so overall, I kind of went in there not 100%, but wanting to give it a try, and surprisingly very, very good. A lot of fun.
Cool. I've heard a lot of feedback similar to what you've said at the start of it, that as soon as they announced multiplayer and the amount of multiplayer trophies and achievements that Tomb Raider was getting, I've heard the same feedback that you gave, bang your head on a desk.
Yeah.
But now that you've actually played it, you're kind of more turned around on it then.
Yeah, and the thing is, they haven't, because they've got the 2 teams working on it, they haven't taken away from the story. Yeah. So the story's all there, and you don't have to play the multiplayer unless, of course, you want those quarter achievements or trophies, whatever. But you don't have to play the multiplayer. It's there. And I don't think I'll be playing it with random people. I think I'll be playing it with friends as opposed to randoms, as I don't enjoy multiplayer with random people as much as other people do.
Right.
But no, I'm actually quite looking forward to seeing what the other modes and maps are like. I don't know how much of it I'm going to play, but it'll be, it should be fun.
Okay. So you're looking forward to seeing how the multiplayer in Tomb Raider holds up in the final release as well, then.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And it kind of makes sense to have, well, not makes sense to have the multiplayer because that was it kind of just threw it in there, but it works because in this Tomb Raider game there's a lot more companions, whereas before Lara is always quite isolated, so there's a lot more characters that you revolve the story around, which are the characters that then feature in the multiplayer game.
Right.
So that works on that level.
Okay, that at least makes sense. Kind of like I said, kind of like how they do with the Uncharted multiplayer. The characters that are around Nathan Drake, like Ilana, Chloe.
Yeah.
Everyone is like a multiplayer character in it of itself. So. I
think that's kind of where they get that inspiration from. And with regards to the fact that the story is a little bit different, it's darker, and it's not as isolated. It does allow that for that to tie in.
Right. Okay. That actually sounds pretty promising.
So I'm no longer banging heads on tables or feeling disappointment with the fact that there's a multiplayer in there anymore.
So now Rage Face averted.
Yep. Square Enix has done something fine.
Michelle, anything to add?
Michelle's like, just you wait. They'll hurt you.
They'll find a way.
In that respect,
find a way.
Crystal Dynamics and Eidos have done a good job. Because that's where it's come from, isn't it? Not Square Enix development.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Square Enix is just publishing.
Oh, see, there you go. Don't worry. The game will come out. It'll end with like you staring at the last boss or the last stage. The game will end and they'll say, now if you pre-ordered the game, you get this DLC, which is...
Oh, God.
Everything comes full circle. Everything comes full circle.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I alluded to earlier, this is going to be kind of a compressed show instead of our usual, what we normally go for an hour and a half. I think that's what we normally go for.
Hour and a half to 2.
Yeah.
But we normally just keep ranting.
Well, yeah, that's normally what it is. We just rant and rant. But today is going to have to be a somewhat compressed show. Only going to give you guys about an hour or so. Sorry about that one. But again, you get to hear us again if you tune into the Get a Life podcast. Hopefully all of us can join in on that one. And it'll be, hopefully, just like this. We'll be talking. There'll be games. It'll be fun. You should hang out with us like you always do.
And if you guys have any comments, suggestions, etc., you can, send them to us through Twitter, Facebook. You can leave a comment on the YouTube channel. I hope you guys are checking out the videos that Justin and Lawrence have been putting out. I think Justin, your Dynasty Warriors ones have been doing quite well, especially where Koei Warriors did a lot of promotion on that.
Oh, well, thank you. I saw they were doing slightly. I was like, okay, cool, yay, doing all right. And I saw Lawrence's post was getting a lot of love and was getting shared around as well.
Yep. Especially the community manager one. That was a very good one.
Very good. If you guys haven't checked it out, you definitely should. It sheds a lot of insight onto what actually goes on into that industry.
I think the negative feedback was about Lubu using, I think, a sword.
Well, yeah, but that's if you do that without a sword or any other speed weapon, it is impossible. Believe me, I tried.
No.
But it's Lubu. Use a spear.
Yeah.
Okay, there's no spear speed weapon. Wait, no, I could use Yao Yun's spear. That's a speed weapon.
No, halberd, choke slam.
You know what fans are like.
Oh man, I have to say though, once I was actually allowed to spam my Muso, I was so satisfying.
It's like everything must die. Boom, everything's dead.
I didn't even realize, like, once I had racked up 3,000, I didn't realize I got it till I got the trophy. I was like, oh snap, I got 3,000 kills on this stage. Keep going.
Nice.
Oh man. But yeah, as always, we thank you guys for hanging out with us. Make sure you catch us on the Get a Life podcast. Their next episode. You can always catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. We are GAMRs. And we will see you guys with our next show. Take care, everyone.
See you later, guys.
And if you want to keep following us for when our next shows are going to be, just be sure to click the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Until then, later, guys.